All right, so let's get into it. Like I said, today's a fun one because who doesn't love extra tools and things that help growing our Amazon business, and especially when they are free. I just want to ask you something. You know, who's in your business? Who are your business partners? And most people would probably go, you know, I'm in this alone. You are not. You have a whole network of people around you. And I should add another one on there, ZonGuru at the end. When you're doing your business, you have to think of your manufacturer, your freight forwarder, your 3PL, Amazon, ZonGuru, whoever is setting you up for success, whoever is crucial to your product being a success, they are part of your business. A lot of people, you know, you hear Amazon, they're a bit hard to deal with sometimes, or, you know, the fees, whatever it is. They are there to work with you. So I really want to drive that home and reframe your mindset about the Amazon opportunity, because they are bringing millions of people, that foot traffic past your product every day. You know, that's just brilliant. Do you have any thoughts on this? Because I know it comes up quite a lot with people.
No, I think when you're working on an Amazon business, it can feel very lonely because you're sitting in front of your computer. You often, you know, you may not be doing it with anyone in your household or even have friends in this space, and it can feel so isolating. But really, like, you know, we are so fortunate in the, you know, the day and age that we're, you know, growing up in, if you like, or living in right now, is that there is such a huge community out there. And yeah, when you go through the steps of an Amazon business, there's actually so much support. You just have to actively go and search for it. And there's so many tools, so many people you can work with and get all this information for, but you just have to put yourself out there. So if you get over that first hump of like, oh, there's no one around me, I'm not quite sure what to do, who's involved, it's just me, myself, and I, there really isn't. There's all of us. You just have to reach out, put yourself out there, and there's so much support out there for you.
Yeah, and I find if you make a good connection with any one of these, for example, when I was first starting out with my manufacturer, I didn't know what freight forwarder to use. I was really at a loss. And I turned to my manufacturer and said, hey, can you recommend anybody? And they put me on to the best freight forwarder. And then my network develops again. So then with the freight forwarder, can you recommend a good 3PL? And it just keeps growing that way. So they're all part of the business. So
of even a chat like this is all community, and we've already identified a lot of us are Aussies, and like in the same time, like, you know, again, put yourself out there. Hey, like, do you mind getting on a Zoom call just to have brainstorming chats? You know, Kimberly and I even do it outside of work because we are both Amazon sellers, and even though we work for ZonGuru, we've obviously got our ZonGuru work to do, but then we also have our own businesses. And sometimes you just want to talk about what you're specifically working on and someone in the same space, and just like bounce ideas or connections or recommendations, and from there it just builds. So do take advantage, you know, say, hey, anyone up for a coffee? Like, it's it does so much.
Yeah, I find the Amazon community in general is just such a beautiful community. Like, everybody is willing to help and lift you up, and it's awesome. And I can see a lot of people in the room today are just starting out. So it's really great to know some of these tips and things that Amazon can help you with as you get started, because you can keep them front of mind. So when you're developing your product, you know, okay, now is a good time to get this in place. Now, this is what we're going to run through today. And just to stress again, Amazon is your business partner. They want you to make money, because if you make money, they make money. It's just this endless loop. So they put in different programs all the time to help people succeed. And there's a strong focus on brands now. Previously, there were a few things, but now there's a really good range of tools that you can put into action. Most are free, which is awesome, because if you think about the Amazon landscape, if you don't employ all these extra tools at your disposal, you are left with a little image amongst a whole lot of other images to grab someone's attention. If you're lucky enough to get that click, you know, you have 5 bullet points, some images. If you can get more space on Amazon and more real estate, you're likely to get more clicks, more conversions, because you're taking up more room, you've got more exposure. So that's what today is all about. And these are some of the programs that are going to help get you there. I can already see, Bex just said a good recommendation is awesome. That's how I like to find the people that I'm working with, you know, that it's social proof, just like on Amazon. If you tell me you've worked with someone and they're amazing, I'm likely to get on board too.
Yeah. Alrighty, so firstly, A+ content. So as Kimberly said, it's all about, when we in ZonGuru, we always say you want to build a brand. And I'm personally, something that I'm learning about myself, why I, become a bigger and more knowledgeable Amazon seller, is that marketing is actually so much fun. There are so many aspects to your Amazon business. There's a lot of numbers, research, logistics, looking at data, but there's such a creative side in it. And that's also outside of just being creative with your product research and creating a new and improved product. But that is in the marketing. And that's something that personally I have been really diving into and really enjoying, learning things that I haven't yet considered, and mostly because, as Kimberly said, Amazon is introducing these new tools. So if you get a new tool, each new tool is introduced for a reason. Amazon just doesn't, create new tools and be like, here you go, off you go. They test it, they do it with select sellers, see how a certain marketplace is responding to it, and if that tool goes, gets all the ticks of approval, then it is made available to, all sellers. So that they are there for a reason, but each tool has a different purpose. So when the new tools come out, you have something new to learn, which I think is great. Don't get discouraged if there's too many things I have to learn so much. When it comes to marketing, I reckon it's good fun. So firstly, for A+ content or your EBC. So in a moment, I'm going to show you a example of what that actually is, but just a few points. Okay, firstly, this is free, so it's available to everyone. However, your only requirement is that you do have brand registry. So again, honing in on the importance that if you don't have a brand or a trademark, you are limited. So that's why it is always important. You are creating a brand. You want to be professional. You want to be official. You want to show your customers that you are legit. And that's why, and Amazon wants their customers to come to Amazon because it is legit, high quality, products that are that do have a brand behind it. So what does A+ or EBC look like? So firstly, what we might do, I think I might actually show the bad example first, if you click onto that, Kimberly, and then I'm going to talk to you about where it exactly is. So usually on your listing, we have obviously a very small picture that is your hero shot. If you win that click, you go into your listing, you can have a few lifestyle shops, you have your dot points, you have your title. But as you scroll down, you have the opportunity to have this A+ content. And that usually goes on where the product description is. Now, as you can see, for this product, you've got product description, dreaming if anyone is going to read all of that. Okay.
No, not a chance.
Amazon is a visual platform, and our attention spans are absolutely zero. So that's one thing to consider. We are used to being on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Everything is visual. We are not reading. Okay. Your shoppers come on Amazon not to read, but they are looking at photos. So immediately I'm like, I don't know what's happening about this product. I'm not going to go on there. What I also want you to acknowledge is that even though this is, let's say, my listing, can you see all the other sponsored ads that are on this page? This is supposed to be my page, but there are so many other products just being like, Amazon. Well, the thing is, I actually heard this yesterday, and I was like, it's super interesting. Amazon, obviously, when you sell a product, Amazon makes money. You make money, Amazon makes money. Everyone is happy. However, Amazon is encouraging their shoppers to browse more, because if they are browsing more, they are more likely to find a better, high quality product and therefore be happy with the services that Amazon provides and shop again. So that's why when on this listing right here, you see all these other products, because Amazon's like, I don't really care if we sell your product. I just care that a product is being sold. And if I give more options to my customers, they are more likely to filter out a better one. So that is one thing. On your listing, you are actually advertising so many other products. So now if we look at a good example, so someone has brand registry and they have created the A+ content.
my computer's struggling a little bit, I think, with all my tabs. I might close that bad example down. Okay. I just wanted to point out too, with this particular niche, you can see it's a bundled product. It's emergency survival kit. There is so much going into these kits, and one little photo doesn't do it justice. It's really hard to see exactly what's included. So for that other seller not to use that available space, it just doesn't make sense to me. Whereas, this one.
Yeah. I want to set, before we go into the detail of why this is a good example, I want to set the tone. So say you are looking for this a survival kit. How do you, or how do a shopper or a customer respond to, how do they look when they're shopping? So they click onto the product. What do they do first? They see the hero shot. They're going to scroll all the way down to your reviews for that third-party validation. Everyone wants to see the review. So they're going to scroll down, whether it's on their desktop or their phone. We know that majority of shoppers are actually on their phone. They're going to go to your reviews. Once they are happy with your reviews, so you get the tick on social proof, then they start scrolling up. What do they hit first? They actually hit your A+ content first. And what it actually is, there's actually an art to this, which is, as I said, I'm really excited about the marketing aspect, and you can give so much information in your A+ content. And there, as I said, there is a little bit of a formula to it, and that is to inform your customer about your product, to inspire them and to sell them. So if we go to the top of what exactly they're displaying here and why is it good. So to begin with, they've got their brand, they've got their ideal avatar or their ideal customer. There are studies to show that when you see a human in a photo, especially a human face, they convert better because subconsciously you trust that. There is a person, and usually that person represents who you are because you are that avatar, and you're like, they trust the product, they're having a great time, they're achieving what I want to achieve by buying this product, I'm going to go forward. So they are. So that's number one. Number two, as Kimberly said, this is a hectic product. There are so many things. I mean, I think it's quite funny that you chose this one, Kimberly, because of the state of the world. You never know what.
Well, the sales were trending upwards, that's for sure.
Exactly. So there is so much happening. So they're showing exactly what is in this kit. So there is a lot happening. And then as you go down, they're giving you more information of how exactly you're going to benefit from this toolkit and how you're going to use. So now they're informing you, giving you valuable information, but again, they're using the avatar. So the human faces using their products and using it in a successful way of what you imagine. Oh, when I use this kit, this is what I'm going to be doing it. They're having a great time, subconsciously you are creating trust with your customer. So again, they're informing, they're showing lifestyle images, it's all in one. Yes?
Yeah, I just love how they've set out for all the products in there, how you use it. I don't know what a pocket bellow is. I would have gone, what? And now I know it's something to do. I probably still don't know, actually, if I'm being completely honest looking at that. But I know it's something to do with fire. Seeing these in action is so much more powerful than just having them laid out on a flat lay somewhere. It's right. Awesome. It's like, okay, we definitely need this lamp. We've got emergency shelter. In my mind, if this was a niche that I was interested in, I'm ticking those boxes going brilliant rather than one long line of text like the other one. And this is free. If you're not doing it, you're losing space. It's crazy.
It's a massive infographic. And this is something I love Canva Pro. Canva Pro, you can create this yourself. By all means, if you want to, if it's not something that you enjoy or you don't feel confident doing it, outsource. But really, you can get the photos taken yourself, or even use stock imagery. If you don't have images of humans, you can use stock imagery. There are resources that you can use of people that you're allowed to post.
100%. I can guarantee this brand didn't go out and take these photos. They've found them and they've just put their overlay over the top. It's absolutely. Yeah.
And then last thing, if you scroll down, I just want to see are there any, previously I mentioned that we would see so many of the other sponsored ads on here. You want to take as much real estate up on your page so that other people can't sponsoring. So they still have a few at the bottom, but compared to the other one, there was at least 20 on that page.
And you have to scroll so much further to get to them here, whereas the other ones were pretty much right under their bullet points almost.
That's right. So again, this is your page. You've gotten that click, especially if you got that click through, a sponsored ad. You've spent money on that click. You want to keep that click. So this is another way to do that.
Yeah, brilliant. I love A+ content. There's some really cool ones out there too, especially like that if you get into the baby niche or the homeware, like they're really cool.
Yeah, and remember, people's faces, children's faces, and cute dogs.
Yeah, cute dogs always get it.
If there is a photo of a dog, subconsciously we're like, immediately that dog trusts that person, therefore I'm going to trust them too.
Yeah.
So it's actually insane.
It's surprising what I've seen dogs pop up in. Like it could be a shopping basket and they've just put a cute little dog in it, but it works.
No, but yeah, exactly. It's genius. Yeah. So the next thing that Amazon does is a storefront. So what is a storefront? It's basically like your own landing page or your own website within Amazon. So again, like I previously said, you need to have brand registry. So I'm just going to say it now. That needs to be on the top of your to-do list if you have not yet done that. So why is it cool to have a landing page? So in a moment, we're going to show you some examples. But basically, I like to think so we're talking about marketing. It's becoming more popular to drive external traffic to your Amazon listing. But think, if you're selling more than one product, this is a showcase of your product, of your brands with your multiple products. So you can send your audience or your customers to basically your website within Amazon showcasing all of this. Kimberly, can you please open an example?
Yeah.
In a moment, you'll see that your listing, we have a lot of rules, if you like. So the terms of services that we need to follow to stay in Amazon's good books. And it is quite rigid. Your hero shot has to have a white background, for example. Whereas your storefront, so as you can see here, this looks like a website. It can be very playful. You make this within Amazon. They have lots of different formats that you can choose from, and you can again play around with it. It can really show your brand and your character. It can show off, this is the time of the year, so it's Christmas, so they've obviously changed their banner to get the Christmas vibe. Obviously they're thinking, you buy our present for a gift.
Yeah, I love how they've made that seasonal, because it's not typically a product I would think to gift, but suddenly I see that and I'm like, actually maybe this could be. That's quite clever.
So it's showcasing more than one product. If you don't have more than one product, you can still utilize this space. You have like an About Me page. People love stories. And if you have a really captivating story of, how your business came to be, or a non-for-profit organization that your brand is tied to, this is the place where you can share all that information, those stories and details about your brand to make your brand, again, more professional, more legit, if you like, and convert more customers.
I really want to show this other one, actually. I hope we've all had morning tea, because their video that is on their homepage, let's see if it's going to open.
That's right. And the different, in the different sections, actually, you can have photos. You can have a hyperlink that is a photo and then it redirects to that specific listing of that product. You can have little videos. So there's actually so much you can play around with this space.
Absolutely. And you can see these guys here, like they've created different pages for different types of products. Amazon gives you so much space if you're willing to take it. And like I said before, why wouldn't you if it puts you up above the competition? I'm just going to wait for that one to load. I think this other one, the Bedshaw, had a real, like you can see under more, they've really gone ahead and used up, look how much they've added. All these different pages and links. Some go down into even more. They've got their About Us page there. They're treating it like their business website, which is very cool. And again, it's free. It's crazy if you don't do it. Let me see if this video is loaded yet. My computer's really struggling today. I think it needs Christmas break. Look at this video.
Look at the real estate. taken up. It's massive.
It's huge. But, you know, they're showcasing their product. Someone in the market for a grill would be going, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is what I want. Their brand is front and center. I've seen normal websites like heaps worse than this. They are using this to their maximum potential. It's really cool.
Yeah. And it is a click and drag. It is a click and drag format. So it's not that you need a code or put anything else in it. You literally, there's like 4 options. You click on one and then it's like upload video.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can 100%. Yeah. No coding required. It's very cool. Let me shut some tabs down so I don't blow up my computer. Any other comments on the storefronts? No? We're good. All right. So the next thing that I want to get into, and this is something that I've been playing around with in the last few months and has genuinely seen amazing results from, and I've even got a little bit personal and put in some of my own sales stats in here. And this is called Amazon Post Publisher. And the way it works is it's essentially Instagram for Amazon. It will show on mobile devices. You won't see it on the desktop. But as Veronica mentioned before, so many people shop on their phone, especially in the States. I think the stats are 60 to 70%. So all you need, again, is brand registry, and you must have a storefront. So I've used that example of the bedshaw, that one we've just looked at. This is what a post looks like. And, you know, it looks very familiar to Instagram. You've got the brand at the top, a large, beautiful image. You've got a link to the product. So if they like what they see, they can click on it and it will instantly take them to that product page. A quick little description, you know, 1 or 2 lines, and the keywords of what it relates to. So you can post as many posts as you want for your brand. Best practice is to post daily, which might seem like a lot, but I was previously posting once a week. I switched that to once a day, and I've seen the engagement rates take off. Post Publisher is relatively new, and what I've found is if you embrace it, you're an early adopter, Amazon rewards you for that because they're testing these things out. At the moment, this is only available in the US. If you jump on that early, they're going to benefit. It's going to benefit you. They're going to say, okay, this seller is taking advantage of Post Publisher. Let's reward them for that. So if I jump back to this bedshaw, this is their storefront. If I go to more, there will be one here called posts. This will happen automatically once you do your first post, and it will have a complete history of all the posts they've done. So you can see again, they're really playing into that Christmas gift giving, which is really cool. Again here, if I liked this brand, what I can do is click follow, and Amazon will know that I'm interested in what they're selling, and it's going to show me their posts, just like when you follow on Instagram. So it is a fantastic way to get in front of your ideal customer because, for example, if I followed Benshaw and then next month they came out with a new product, they could do a series of posts about it. I'm going to see it. So it's a brilliant way to very easily and cleverly expand your brand to the right people. And you might be thinking, oh, no one's going to follow. They do. They do follow. I was really surprised by this. And I guess it does make sense. It depends on your product, probably the amount of take-up rate you get with that. But even for very generic products, I'm seeing quite high follow rates, which I think is super cool. So if I jump back in here, hopefully my computer will keep up with me. So where do they appear? Like I said, it's only on mobile, but don't let that put you off because especially in the US, the sheer number of people that are shopping on their phone, they'll be on the product page, carousel, related post feed, category-based feed, and brand feed. So they're basically popping up everywhere. This is an example of what it might look like. If you're looking at a product, it's going to show you, oh, check out these ones, related posts. Because it's not showing the hero shot of your listing, you can see they're not on plain white backgrounds. So you can get really creative the lifestyle images and engage with them. Because if your potential buyer is looking at a plain white boring image and then they scroll down a little bit and see this, it's like, oh my gosh, this product looks so much better. I'm going to click.
Yeah.
And they'll click through, and it's free. So if you're a bit intimidated by advertising pay-per-click, try this out. It's going to really be of a big benefit. So these are my stats. Like I said, a little bit personal. So I've just looked at this for the last 30 days, and you can see that I appeared 20,000 times for free on those other feeds, those other posts. 793 people engaged with that post. When it says viewable impressions, I might have just flashed up for a second. It's not, I may have even had just the top part of my image showing, but still to get 793 people, and then to actually look at it properly, engage with it. And then from there, they've decided to click through 232 times. That's a huge win for something that cost me nothing. And I've also gained 309 followers. So if I was to release a new product tomorrow, I know that there's 309 people that are going to see it and they're interested in it. So that's quite cool, and definitely not something that should be overlooked. So
that's amazing. That's especially the fact that obviously it's for free. You got those people weren't particularly looking for your product. They may have been looking at something similar for that to come up, in their related posts, for example. But then to get followers. So as Kimberly said, and I want to emphasize how incredible this is, that she has now 300 people. So it's like an email list. And people say that your business is the number of people on your email list. That if Kimberly wanted to sell a new product under the same brand, she already has 300 people that she was like, here you go. Yeah, have a look at this. They don't have to search for it, nothing. That she literally goes, here you go, look at me, look at this. And that's huge.
Yeah, and that's tiny numbers in comparison. Like I said, I've just started playing around with this, and it's a relatively new product that I've done that on. I can imagine that some of the big players out there would be getting, it's such an easy way to launch new products into your brand. I love it. I'm a huge fan of it.
Again, hones in on why creating a brand is amazing. And if you can create a brand that you can launch several products underneath, even better, because then you can take full advantage of tools like this.
Yeah.
Jen has a question about trademarks. Would you please share how long it takes to generate a trademark in the US as well as the AU market?
Yeah, it takes a long time, but it won't stop you from accessing any of these programs. So the way it works is, so long as you have a pending trademark, so as long as you just start that process, Amazon will let you into the program. So our US trademark can take to a year, Australia probably 9 months. It does vary depending on how busy those agencies are, but don't let that put you off, because all you need to do is start the process to access all of these programs.
Yeah. With the US trademark, this is just personally speaking, as we live in Australia, so therefore we don't unaware or not as familiar with the law behind trademark and things like that. In the US, it is a little bit harder to go there. When I say harder, is that you do need to find a lawyer, a trademark lawyer to help you with that process. In Australia, it's literally takes you 15 minutes. Fill in the details, swipe your credit card, and off it goes. So completely different processes. If you're an Australian and live here and want to get a brand registry here, it's super easy. Kim, I'm going to ask you a question, because I think I know the answer, but I don't want to say the incorrect one. If I have a brand registry in Australia, can I use it in the US?
100%. But there's a few things I want to run into there. So we were talking before about referring great companies and, developing your business network. I highly recommend Trademark Angel if you are looking for somebody who specializes in US trademarks. If you let them know that you're from ZonGuru, they'll give you a discount. So check them out. But what you can do is register a trademark in Australia, and Amazon US will accept it. But your trademark rights aren't enforceable in the US, because essentially what a trademark is it's preventing someone else from using your brand. So and it's only enforceable in the country that it's registered within. So if I register a trademark in Australia, but then I sell in the US, I can access all of Amazon's tools and programs, which is awesome. But if somebody in the US decides to use that trademark as well, I don't have a legal right in the US because my trademark is from Australia. So it is always a good idea to trademark in the country that you're selling within. Bex just asked, do we do a trademark in Australia? You can. Depends how confident you are with it. Go to IP Australia if you're wanting to start that process. They have a number of different guides and things, but of course, we're not lawyers. If you feel unsure, or if you are you have to select what category you're selling within. If you're a bit unsure, speak to a professional, because if you trademark in the wrong category and then somebody else comes in who has done it right, you could be in a real pickle in a situation that you can no longer sell your product. So yeah, definitely, if you are unsure, speak to a professional. Cornelius has just asked, how do you start a brand? You have to come up with your name, whether you want it to be registered by just like the word mark, or maybe you have an image. So for example, on the page here, you can see we've got Amazon.com with the really iconic arrow. That is, they've trademarked both the name and the image. So I couldn't have that same tick and font and style on my own brand because they've trademarked that. Yeah, so hopefully that.
Yeah, so it's basically you come up with your idea, your vision of what you know. A brand is a representation of a company, of a business, of your product, of what you represent. But a brand is, I think I said this on another live training, but I'm all into my marketing at the moment, is that your brand isn't your product or your service. Your brand is how you make your customer feel. And I think that really captures of what it is to create a brand. It doesn't matter what you do or what you sell, is how do you make your customers feel? And that's why, there's so much research behind like what photos you add, like the fact that adding a human and a puppy dog works better than just a product itself. Like there's actually so much psychology behind buying, and that's what I think it's fun to really dive into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, you register a business name, yeah.
But business name is separate to a trademark. So if you're in Australia, Cornelius, you'll register a business name and then you'll go to IP Australia and register your trademark. It does change depending on where you are. And the terminology can get a bit confusing. But yeah, find your business name, register that with the Australian government, and then go to IP Australia to register your trademark.
Yeah, cool. There's a little bit, it can get confusing. So if you're unsure of any of them, that's why speaking to a professional who can at least guide you in the right direction is extremely useful and helpful.
Lilybeth, not necessarily your company name. So for example, my company name is different to my brand name. So your company name could be different to your business name, which it can all be quite confusing. But for example, my company name is if I'm importing goods into the US or into Australia, that's my company name. But if you were to search Amazon, you'll never find my company name. You'll only see my brand name, because the company name owns those brand names and has trademarked those brands. It's an asset. You probably heard the term IP, intellectual property. It's an asset of my company to own those brands. We could do a whole other training.
So the company the company is here. You can have your business underneath that, and then within one business, you can have multiple brands.
Yeah, 100%.
And then I can have another business here with multiple brands.
100%.
So they are separate entities.
Yeah.
So it can get very confusing.
Yeah.
But I feel like we could, that's not something that we specialize in. It's more so from our personal experience of what we've done with our businesses. So if you do need help, even speaking to your accountant is like, I ask my accountant everything. I'm like, hello, what is this? And they're able to at least guide me in the right direction of where I can get more information from. All right. So back to the presentation. So next one is the next tool that Amazon has created is brand referral bonus, something that I'm personally very excited to. However, I am a little bit upset that it's still only available in the US marketplace, because I'm very much all, hands in now,
all
hands in all in for the Australian marketplace. So some of these I look forward to them being available in the Australian marketplace. So what is brand referral bonus? So driving external traffic to Amazon is becoming more and more popular. And the reason that Amazon is bringing in tools like this is because even though Amazon is absolutely, killing it on the online, online retail, what's the word I'm looking for? Just scope. Amazon kills it in general, but they do have other businesses, I heard like in the US, you've got Walmart, Target knocking on their heels. We've got eBay here. So Amazon still has competition. So it still has to work hard to make sure they are the dominating, entity in this area. So brand referral bonus is encouraging us to draw external traffic to Amazon. And they're doing it for a few reasons, because obviously we need to spend money to bring people to Amazon. Not necessarily, but just generally speaking. The reason a lot of people like Amazon is because you can pay for PPC within Amazon, but Amazon is a massive search engine. Your customer comes to you. Okay, in short, that's what Amazon is, and that's one of the massive ticks, or that why people go to Amazon versus creating their own Shopify store, because they need to pay or find their customers themselves to bring them in. However, with this brand referral, is that you can, for example, create a Facebook business page, an Instagram page, do heaps of posts. You can have reels, you can have paid Facebook ads, paid Instagram ads, and you can bring those customers to your Amazon store. So that's another reason, benefits of the store. You can bring them straight to your store and they can see all of your products, or you can just draw them into a specific listing. And Amazon will pay you on average 10% to bring that traffic in. Yeah. So it's amazing.
It's cool when you think about it. Say I had a Facebook page or an Instagram page, and I said, I'm going to spend 5% of my sales on advertising on those platforms, driving it back to Amazon. I'm still ahead. And my rankings are improved because I've got traffic coming in and conversions. So I'm going to boost my rankings. It's just going to help me organically create more sales. Plus, I'm getting a 5% net kickback from doing that. So it's a win-win all around. It's a really, it's a no-brainer. I do like that one. So Amazon Launchpad. Has anyone heard of this? Be interested to know, because it's been around for a little while, but it's something that not a lot of people know about. And it's an application-only program that Amazon hosts. And it's one of the few ones that I'm talking about here today that actually comes with a cost. So you need to apply to Amazon to be part of the program. And they have a few conditions. You can't be a long established business. You have to have less than 4 years trading history and 5 million turnover. Most people will very easily fit that category if they're just starting out. And it's designed for new and creative products, something a little bit different. And in return for that 5% fee that Amazon charges is they give you greater exposure. So they might pop your product in a category-focused email out. They have, and I'll show you this now, actually on the Amazon website, there is a special category. And I actually shop on here. I like it. Let me have a look. So I'm just on the main Amazon site here, Amazon Launchpad at the very top. And I often go here because there's really cool products that always pop out. And I think they're exciting. So yeah, this is the idea. Discover big ideas from small brands. And when you join the program, you really have Amazon's backing to get more exposure. So they've segmented into categories, but just from these hero images, I mean, look at these guys. That's so cool. This table, I love that as well. They're really creative products. They have extra support that they give sellers in this program. They help you expand globally as well. They're really on your side to try and get things done. I love these ones. But this table, for example, if I just dig into the homewares a little bit more.
You can see all the photos are similar to the posts that Amazon publisher posts. They are very similar to Instagram. They're not just your standard hero shot. They're more lifestyle shots, bright and colorful and more engaging as well. So you can see just generally like that your hero shot in your listing, if someone searches your product, is literally just one way a customer can find you. And it's probably the most boring way in terms of visually.
Yeah. When you join the Launchpad program, you actually get access to a special team within Amazon that for photos and things like that. So you do get access to the experts, and you have, I don't know, I haven't looked into this one, so I'm just kind of winging it here, but you do have wider, apparently, in their A+ content, better displays. So I'll just let that load and I'll come back to it. So there's lots of little things that Amazon is doing to help boost you above the competition. So if I released this side table at the same time as someone else and I joined the Launchpad program, Amazon is basically saying, partner with us, we'll get more eyes on your product. We will help you. We'll have a team of people there to help you. And just looking at their infographics, I hope it loads. They look very cool, very professional, very detailed. You know, I like what I'm seeing here. Somebody has definitely helped these sellers do this really well. And I'm guessing that they're also, so they're Amazon's choice for clip-on side table, which would be a pretty cool category to be number one for. So it is a cost, like I said, one of the few ones we're running through today that does cost you something, but you've kind of got to think, am I willing to pay 5% if I'm going to end up on page one? If I'm going to get more eyes on my listing, a lot of people are happy to jump in on that. This is available in Australia as well. So just keep that in mind. I would probably use it more so in the US because the US is much more competitive. But yeah, if you want a little bit of extra hand holding and exposure, this can be a very, very cool program. Nice. Load this up again. I don't think my computer should be allowed to drive in future trainings. It's really struggling. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's really,
I can't hear it thinking over.
Oh, lucky. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And it's even a cool area to go if you're wanting a little bit of inspiration. Obviously don't copy, but just to see even how images are laid out, what they're doing, because people in the Launchpad program are usually doing things best in field. So yeah, check it out. Another one, and this is, been around since the beginning of Amazon and advertising, is promotions and discounts. So anybody can do this one. And the traditional ones are percentage off, maybe it's a coupon, buy one, get one free. The deals, we've just been through Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Interestingly, I've taken part in one Prime Day, which I did get great sales from. With the others, I don't generally do any sort of deals. I find the organic traffic that is just driven through, people are there to shop. I see that huge spike with or without a promo for my products. If your product is in a category that does benefit really well from deals, by all means do it. But it's kind of fun to see, you can kind of just ride the coattails of all the other deals and the crazy engagement that's happening on the platform during those times. So when you set up one of these promotions or discounts, this is what they look like. So this one, for example, has a coupon. So you'll see this red box telling you how much you're saving and how much you can save with the coupon. So it does catch your eye. If I jump to the live page on this one, I'm just looking at cat litter boxes. This is what it looks like. I just click the box to apply the coupon. I read a stat once about the number of people who actually claim the coupon, and it was not that. Yeah, I was surprised. They like to know it's there. Maybe they get caught up in the moment. They don't tick it for whatever reason.
Or just not aware that the assumption may be that coupon was automatically applied to their purchase.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. But if you if this stands out, it's something different on the actual search page, if I run a search on that. But something that I think is very, very cool, and this is something I do myself, and it's a little bit cheeky, but it's completely within terms of service, what this seller here has done. So again, cat litter box, you can see price was, price is. So if I'm a buyer and I'm looking at that, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's on sale. I'm going to save this amount of money. That's brilliant. I'm going to buy it. Maybe that's what the price always was. And it just looks cool because it's crossed out. I feel special that I'm getting a deal. I can almost guarantee that, maybe it was that for a day, and this is their usual price. You see this happen quite a bit, but again, it catches your eye, makes the buyer feel like they're getting something special. And with this one here, you control that when you're creating your listing. You don't need to go through setting up a promotion or getting Amazon's approval or running through anything like that. So I think that's quite a nifty little trick to stand out amongst the competition. So let me see if this search has loaded. No, it's still going. Just so you can see how it actually grabs your eye. So these are sponsored ones. So that's the coupon. See, instantly with the red and the green, it stands out. This one saved 20%, so that's a deal. But see how these ones are crossed out? So they're doing that. So it's like, okay, it's a good offer right now. Maybe they'll put the price back up to that soon. I better buy it today. It creates that FOMO mentality, I guess. So
yeah, and sense of urgency as well, because you never know when the price might go back up. So.
Exactly. Rather than like this one, just a fixed static price with nothing wrong with that. I've just found that this works really well for my listings. So we have been through all of those different campaigns and things now that you can do in your own list. So I don't know if any grabbed for everyone in the room, if any really caught your attention that you're going to go and check out today. It sounds like a lot of people are going to be looking into that brand registry, I think, more than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're here. If you have any questions about anything we've spoken about or about Amazon in general, we will do our very best to answer.
So shoot with your questions. But yeah, but on this, I've enjoyed this training because it does really open up your eyes of what else is available on Amazon, because I do feel that, especially at the beginning of your journey, it's overwhelm period. Just, you're learning so much new stuff, but you only are talking about, okay, what's my hero shot doing? Have I fully optimized my listing? And those are so important. They are super important, but how they say that once you've launched your product, you're only at the start line. So there are so many other things then to consider that can hugely benefit your sales as well. So it's like you're creating your listing and having like your keywords, that's number one. But the next one, once you've done that, okay, A+ content. Okay, once you've done that, your store. Okay, once you've done that, we can do our post. Once we've done that, where am I going forward? So take advantage of it all.
Yeah, and Amazon's not the bad guy. I know when I first started out, I was terrified of Amazon. I thought they would close me down. Like, I was just so nervous. I didn't find them helpful. If I've ever gone through Amazon support, they can be a bit tricky. But they really do want sellers to succeed, and they have so much at our disposal. Even if you just spend a day going through Seller Central and just looking at all the different reports and options that are available, it's going to really help. Jen's asked, how would you best market your first product that has no reviews? That is a fantastic question, because it can be really daunting to go up against experienced sellers who have all those reviews on the board. First off, I'd be saying get really selective about what niche you're entering into and what marketplace you're entering into. If you're confident that the data is backing you up, so that's where tools like ZonGuru come into play, you're going to be much better placed. But then back to the programs that Amazon has, there's one called the Vine program. And basically you can get up to 30 reviews. It will cost you the cost of your product. And now they've introduced a fee. I can't remember. It used to be free, but I can't remember now how much it is. It might be $90 or something to enter the program, and then you're guaranteed a certain number of reviews They're not going to necessarily be 5 stars. They're going to be honest reviews. But if you've got confidence in your product, that's a great way to get a leg up. And then put Review Automator on. Make sure that you've got all of that in place working in the background for you. It will really help to scale up your reviews. Sure.
And obviously, then once you've done all the, you need to do everything that you can to get those reviews up. And then obviously on the listing itself, you need to make sure that your photos are on point. You need to make sure your listing's on point, and then taking advantage of things like, your EBC. So having all of that in place. So if someone if you steal the click, awesome, they go into yours, but they need to see that your product is epic, and what are you going to and for them to purchase it. So you need to take advantage of that. Obviously, when you first launch, you also got the honeymoon period, so Amazon does favor you as well, and you need to 100% make the most of that. Don't launch because you're like, oh, whatever, I'll get those photos done later. No, you need to take advantage of the honeymoon period, because it can be it can make a massive difference.
Yeah.
Next question.
Vera's I was going to say, Vera's asked a really good question about Niche Finder. So that's the tool that is going to help generate niche ideas. So what products are going to work for you? If the reason why you might select different selling categories is it just casts that net wider. So there might be a product that pops up in a different category that you've never even thought of, but the data is exactly what you're looking for. Now, it's always fun to sell a product that you personally love. So if you're a car person, jumping into the auto category, that might be really exciting, but you might find something in the sports category that really ticks the boxes. So that's, it's just taking off the blinkers. Again, there's nothing wrong with getting really, niche down into something that you love, but it might, keep other products that are equally good, if not better, off your plate.
If you're, set on one certain category and you've got the data there to support it, that it's a feasible product to go forward in, that's awesome. Play on. The Niche Finder is there to create for you to be able to investigate other products that you didn't even think of, and just get those, creative juices going. That's why you've got all those options in advanced mode. You don't have to use them, but they are there to be used if you would like to.
Yeah, for sure. Alba's asked, you must have brand registry when you launch. What do you think?
I just want to, yes and no. I don't think it is a must. However, if you've got brand registry beforehand and it's pending, therefore you can already use A+ content, so you've got it anyway.
Yeah.
It depends what marketplace you're in.
Yeah, I'd be really nervous about launching in the US without brand registry, just because it opens up so much more opportunity. There's different ads you can use. They really do favor brands. It would be more difficult. You're creating, I guess, a bigger hurdle there without it. If you're launching in somewhere like Australia, which is a much more greener emerging marketplace, probably isn't as important, but it's for the cost, it's definitely worthwhile. It pays for itself, plus the protection you get. So we're only talking about the features. This has happened to me, and not that long ago, I had a hijacker on my listing. If I didn't have brand registry, it would have been really hard to get them off. So I'm all for brand registry. I'm a big fan of it. Another good question is, with your packaging, having 2 language labels, so one in English, one in Spanish. I don't see any issue with that, especially if your product, if you do the a global unified account, which means that you can sell products from the US to Canada, Mexico. That can be really helpful. As long as it's in line with your branding, it makes sense to have 2. I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah. Okay, how does Review Automator work? Really, really easily. You've got your ZonGuru account. It's connected to your Seller Central account. Once you're making sellers, you go to your Review Automator and you click on. That is literally all you need to do. So what Review Automator does, that it sends requests to your customers for a review. So there is an email template. You can see it there in ZonGuru. That template is from Amazon, so ZonGuru doesn't change it. You can't change it. So we're all within Amazon's terms and services, so you don't have to worry about that. But Review Automator does send this request to the right people at the right time. So what does that mean? It only sends to customers that have actually purchased your product, received your product, and aren't returning it. Okay, so we have done tests to discover what the most ideal time is to send this request, because obviously you don't want a review request sent to someone who A, hasn't received your product yet, or B, has received it and has returned it, because obviously you're going to get a low rating. So we send it to the right people at the right time, and you just have to turn it on. That's literally all you do.
Yeah, it's an absolute no-brainer. I'm just finding a really cool blog that we did about brand registry that I can drop into the chat to help everybody. But Kimmy, I did see your question about Sales Spy. This can come up. The purpose of Sales Spy is to do a historical look at the trends, the seasonality of products on Amazon. And it's really designed for those products showing on page 1 of Amazon, page 1, page 2, because that's where you want to be if you're competing. So sometimes if you look up your own product and you don't have a long trading history, maybe you've just launched, maybe it's an emerging market, or maybe you're not sitting on those first 1 or 2 pages, it's going to be really, really hard to gauge estimates of those sales. So that's why you might find that's a little bit off. The better places, obviously if it's your own, you know exactly what you're selling, but it's better to have, if you're researching a niche, pick those products from page 1, because that's where you want to be, and it's going to return a much, much closer result. It's surprising how accurate it actually gets when you're looking at those first pages. How long have you been selling for, Kimmy? If you don't mind me asking, and if it's in the US or Australia, because that can, or the UK, it can have a big impact on it. Let me find that blog while I'm waiting for that to load. So anyone who's interested in brand registry, I'd recommend checking out that blog. It's going to give you everything you need to know step by step. The only change is that now you don't need to go through the IP Accelerator program. It's going to be available from, you don't need to go through one of the recommended lawyers from Amazon, is what I'm trying to say. So Kimmy, 5 months on .com, if you've been on page 1 that entire time, it should be showing very accurately. If you've been selling for 5 months and it's just kind of gone to that page 1, and congratulations, by the way, for getting on to page 1. That's awesome, especially on the US. It may take a little bit longer to kick in. So with Sales Spy, definitely pick those ones from page 1, the ones that have been around for a longer time. But I can definitely connect with you after if we wanted to troubleshoot that one for you. Just let me know.
Cornelia says, do you need to have a US brand or use Australian brand? So Kimberly answered that question earlier on. So your trademark, depending on where you put an application in, your trademark is protected in that country. So if you put a trademark in Australia, your brand is protected in Australia. So if you're selling a product in the US marketplace, you can still use all those tools. However, your brand is not protected over there.
Yeah, and that blog runs through all of that. So if you've got any, questions, if you're from another country other than Australia, you can check to see if their trademarks are going to be accepted. It's all in there. Yeah, exactly. So if you're living in New Zealand, you wouldn't want to register a trademark in Australia. You would either register one in the US if you're wanting to sell in the US, or sorry, I should take that back. If you're interested in selling in Australia, then by all means register one here. But if it's to get on .com, you might find registering in New Zealand is going to be a lot easier. But just check to make sure that it's accepted by Amazon, and that's all contained in that blog. If you can pick that link up and have a little read, I think that will clear things up very quickly. I'm not sure what New Zealand's trademark process is. I have a feeling it's going to be much more efficient than Australia's.
Each country has completely different.
Oh, it's wild.
Different,
yeah.
Processes. So you need to find a professional in that country who can help you with that. We can't give you advice on that.
Yeah, but definitely something to look into. And yeah, think of Amazon as your business partner. They have so many tools and resources at your disposal. Use them because it is a really easy way to get a leg up over the competition.
Work with them, not against them, will make everything a little bit easier.
100%. Well, we've just gone over the hour. It doesn't look like any other questions are coming through. You will get a replay if you jumped in late. And next week, we're hosting a training at the same time, 10 a.m. next Thursday. So I hope you can all jump in. I'd love to see you guys back again. We've got one last question. You just slipped in before the bell. Yeah.
Okay.
So, thank you, Beck. It's really, really beautiful. Ruxana, if you're not getting any reviews from Review Automator, that it can be frustrating. The amount of people, it's something like 10% is the rate that people leave reviews. A lot of people opt out of Amazon communications. So it really is a numbers game. Stick with it. I promise they will start to come through. Otherwise, check out that Vine program. Like I mentioned, that's going to be a great way to get them on the board. But if you just keep in your mind, 10% is the goal that you're going to see come back. So for every 100 sales, you can expect 10 reviews. And of course, the product as well. If you're selling something very utilitarian, so, a pair of scissors or something like that, you're probably not going to get the reviews you would get if you were selling like a cute dog bed or something, because people aren't as emotionally invested in the product.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. It's been so much fun. And I'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, that was a great training. See you next time. Have a great week. And make sure, do reach out to our community on Facebook. We are there to answer questions, help each other out. So go there. Amazon Seller Network.
Love it. Bye for now.
Bye.